Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Back with another review, and this is of season 4, episode 14 of Ozark's A Hard Way to Go. This is the series finale, the last episode of Ozarks. The show is pretty good. Oh yeah, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment, all the other stuff. Hit the bell, notification bell. This is a really tense episode, man. Really interesting way to start end the show with the last episode. Let me just get into it. The episode started off with Nelson being buried under the pool by Ruth, and she's starting to see ghosts of Wyatt and stuff like that in this scene. So that was pretty touching. I already, spoiler alert, I guess I can already say it. I already kind of had the feeling that she was going to die in this episode when you keep constantly seeing she keep talking to different people from her past, stuff like that. And to be honest, I already saw some of the spoilers on Instagram, so it is what it is. But Marty, he says that he'll tell Camilla that Ruth killed Javi if he can to get his kids back. So Marty is doing whatever he can to get his kids back and stuff like that, and going as far as to sell Ruth out, even if he has to, just to get the kids. Ruth acts as Wendy. Ruth acts is Wendy still controlling him. So Ruth basically, everybody can see that Wendy has some type of control over Marty. Even Ruth can see that. Also, Marty sets up a plan with Navarro being moved with Camilla. Camilla asks Marty about Javier's death. So she basically is going around snooping, asking anybody she can, getting closer and closer to finding out the truth as to what happened to her son. Ruth visits Wendy when she was in the crazy house, and Ruth decides to work with Wendy only so Camilla can pretty much get off of her scent, because clearly she can feel Ruth closing in on her, and the two seem to be able to make peace during that scene. Wendy gets a drink with her father Nathan. She starts to basically sort of get under his skin about his past abusive ways. And wait, hold on, was it no? Wendy, no, it was Ruth. Sorry, Ruth gets a drink with Nathan, and she starts to basically get under his skin about his past abusive ways. And then she basically threatens to shoot Nathan if he doesn't let go of the kids. So there's a scene where basically, Ruth is trying to find a way to get Nathan to let go of the kids, and Jonah and Charlotte pop in, and they see the whole thing happen. Not the whole thing, but basically she ends up finding a way to help Wendy out, and that's how that scene goes. Ruth says if she would have left Ben in the nut house, he would have probably stayed alive. Wendy feels it's her fault. She feels she's trapped. She feels that she sort of trapped him and made him stay. Then she says she kept Ben because she hated her father, basically. So it was almost like she kind of helped to have her own brother killed just out of spite her father. So she almost cut her nose to spite her own face and end up leading her own brother's death. This is how Wendy feels. So there's a whole lot of stress going on there. Wendy lets the kids decide for themselves as Marty picks up Wendy and they drive off, like basically the beginning of season 4. So, basically now we're finally getting to see what happened as to the beginning of season 4 with the whole family getting into that car accident. And like I said, Wendy is letting the kids decide for themselves if they want to stay or not or anything like that. And, then we see this accident happen. They seem to somewhat make amends with each other, and then the accident happens, and we almost think that Wendy ends up dying, but she doesn't. So I don't really know what was the point of this whole scene. I guess it was to sort of draw the family together. Most people were pretty much trying to get Wendy to die because most people don't like Wendy, the fans. Me personally, I think Wendy is really manipulative. I don't think she's as hateable as Skylar from Breaking Bad, but I can understand how annoying she can be. But I guess the scene with the car accident was to just make them come back together. I always thought that this scene was probably going to be a setup for the cartel to kill them off. That's what I really thought it would have been, but it seemed like they got into the accident. Everybody seemed to come out fine, and that was it. So I don't know. I guess that whole car accident was to make them come back together, I guess. So that's how that is. Navarro sends Priest to tell the birds that Nelson is gone. The priest warns Wendy about death, and Wendy says that they will live. I thought that would have been a bad foreshadow, maybe, that one of them was probably going to end up dying, but actually, at the end of this episode, it pretty much almost meant nothing. She was right. They did survive it. The whole family ended up coming out of this completely unscathed. So I don't know what the point of that was. Almost that scene probably would have fit better before the car accident, but maybe Wendy would have probably took the words differently, but that's how that is. Marty confronts Ruth about Nelson, and he finds out that he's dead. So that adds some more tension to Marty, because that's basically, I guess, making him probably look at Ruth as being close to death, with her killing, I guess, being responsible for Nelson's death, and also killing off Javi, making it hard for him to protect her now. But Marty wants to help Ruth hide once Navarro's gone, and they seem to make peace in this scene. So Marty and Ruth seem to be slowly getting back to getting on common ground. Navarro knows Camilla tried to kill him. As he tells the birds, Navarro knows Camilla tried to kill him. As he tells the bird family, he thinks Camilla killed Nelson. So basically, now this whole Nelson death is causing some type of war between, little mini war battle or something like that, between Camilla and Navarro. So that's how that is. He has no idea that basically somebody that was associated with Ruth, which is Rachel, is the one that killed him. But he doesn't know that. Ruth seems to daydream of her family before 3 shows up. So she's still completely, thinking about her family and stuff like that, daydreaming about them, which sort of probably was a hint that she was probably going to end up dying at the end of this episode anyway. Rachel suggests her and Ruth leave to avoid the blowback from killing Nelson. Rachel feels remorse over killing him. It probably would have been the best idea if they would have done that. If she would have left, even though Cartel probably would have hunted Ruth down anyway. But I think Rachel was pretty right about this. It's a good thing that she didn't end up dying, because she's the one that killed Nelson. But it probably would have been a good idea for her to leave, but them all to leave. But Ruth and Rachel meet up with Camilla at meeting, and there's like a strange tension going on there. So I guess maybe that could have been a foreshadow as to how the ending comes. Wendy wants to pay her dad off, but he seems to still hate her, so they don't end on good terms as he leaves. So, she got her kids, but, he couldn't get them, so they don't end on good terms. Wendy also is, she's doing voter fraud anymore for Schaefer, so she's just totally done with that. So, she's preparing to just get out of doing voter fraud, so I guess that's pretty good. Navarro is being quote unquote transferred. He doesn't know what's going on, so that's what that is. And then Jonah talks about going to Portillo's when they get back to Chicago with Charlotte. That's what I really like about this show. It really makes reference to small things about Chicago, like Portillo's. I like that they did that. It really feels like they are actually genuinely from Chicago when they said that. I like that they gave Portillo's a shout out. Shout out to Portillo's. I love Portillo's. Camilla questions Claire about Javi at the party. She begins to apply pressure to her, and she threatens Claire and then Claire ends up snitching on Ruth. And the threat that Camilla said to her was pretty brutal. Cutting her from up there. That's some real cartel type stuff right there. Camilla is, she actually feels like a real cartel queen pin. Like she's just really calm and calculated, and yeah, that was pretty sick. So Camilla I thought it was really cool the way how really ruthless the way how Camilla puts a hit out on Ruth right in front of the Bird family, and basically tells them, hey, if you try to warn her, I'm going to just take out the whole family. That was pretty insane. And basically, Wendy and Marty and Wendy cannot plan out of this. They've spent the whole series finding ways to plan out stuff and plotting against people, and maybe even sometimes plotting against Ruth, and they cannot save her from this. Navarro is quote unquote saved by a henchman, and we think that he's about to get away, but it's all a setup, and he ends up being killed by that henchman. And the way he ends up going out seems like a typical way that most cartel members will go out, not in a blaze of glory or anything, just dead in a desert someplace. Ah, Navarro, he was an interesting character. R.I.P. to him. You know, really calm and calculated. Reminded me a lot of Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. The whole show Breaking Bad in general reminds me a lot of. I mean, Ozarks in general remind me a lot of Ozark. I've heard some people comparing the shows, and definitely I think Breaking Bad is a little bit more superior show, but definitely Ozarks was good in its own right. It was good in its own lane. So, but yeah, still a good show. Still love Ozarks. Ruth faces off with Camilla, and no pun intended, but Ruth goes out very ruthlessly. She stands strong and still talks crap. Even once she, gets shot by Camilla, she went out strong. She didn't cry or nothing like that. She, stood in the face of a high ranking cartel member and the leader of the cartel and stood her ground. I like that about Ruth, RIP to Ruth, man. And then probably one of the best scenes of the series finale is after the party, the Birds family go home and they see Mel is watching them in the backyard. They see that he's broken in and he has the ashes of Ben. And he's basically talking about how he's going to turn them in, and Wendy tries to bribe him with money, but then out of nowhere, Jonah comes out of nowhere, has a gun cocked, ready, and the scene it shows. It almost feels like they're about to become a new type of mob family almost. And he got the gun cocked, and screen goes to black, and then Mel ends up getting shot, and it goes. The episode ends with playing Al Green, and that's it. Man, this was pretty good. Man, I gotta say, it was a really good. There's not too many shows that I see have really good series finales and stuff like that. I think this was pretty good. I'm surprised that none of the family ended up being killed. I always thought that was pretty shocking, but they survived it, and it was good. Mel was always snooping around all the time, constantly coming into their house. Always going at the wrong times, and he came at a really bad time, and he ends up getting blown away. So I didn't think that he was going to be the last person to die in the series, but yeah, he went out. I always wonder how did Maya feel about that, but we'll never know. But yeah, this was a really good series finale. I liked it. It was good. I always wonder where the Bird film going to go from this point on. I guess they're going to go back to Chicago. And I don't know, maybe they're gonna stay affiliated with the cartel or something. I'm not sure, but it was really good ending. I'm surprised none of the family ended up getting hurt. And yeah, Jonah went out protecting his family. I always felt that I wish they would have developed Charlotte a little bit more. She always seems sort of like a background character. People always kept saying, I heard a lot of people comparing Jonah to the other crime show, Power, Tariq. I feel like Jonah feels a little bit more realistic than Tariq. I can understand how most people hated the character Tariq. I don't feel Jonah was really hateable. I actually kind of felt for him. His uncle ended up dying. And the mom couldn't do nothing about it. So I can kind of understand maybe his anger. I never really had a problem with Jonah. He was a smart kid, and I'm pretty. I like his last scene. Where he went out killing, a private investigator. So yeah, this was a really good series. Ozarks is cool. Let's see, if I was to give it a rating, I don't know if I've ever gave any ratings for TV shows, but I'll give it a 4 out of 4 stars. I usually give my ratings to movies or something like that, or maybe an album or something like that. But yeah, I love the ending to this. Really good ending, and yeah, it was pretty good. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. More reviews coming. We already know today The Boys came out, the new show. I'm going to do a review of that, the first 3 episodes, and P-Valley also came out. So those reviews are coming up soon, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you like this video, and thank you for watching my video, my review.